Hello students, in last video we have studied difference between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Now in this video we are going to learn next point, and that next point is there about different nutrients and their role. So in that one more question is there, can you tell? One more question is there, can you tell? And in that can you tell, one more question is there, can you tell? So can you tell, that means before this you have all learned this one. So one question is the first question, and that question is there, which of the cellular respiration performs complete oxidation of glucose? Question is there. Question, which of cellular respiration performs complete oxidation of glucose? Complete oxidation of glucose. And answer you are knowing. Difference already we have studied. In the difference we have studied aerobic and anaerobic. Out of that one is there aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is a cellular respiration, and in which complete oxidation of glucose takes place. So answer is there, aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. Second question is there. What is the second question? So which cell organ is involved? Which cell organelle is necessary for complete oxidation of glucose? Which cell organ is necessary? Which cell organelle is necessary for complete oxidation of glucose? So which cell organelle is there? We are knowing complete oxidation of glucose takes place into the mitochondria. Mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell, mitochondria. So in the mitochondria, complete oxidation of glucose takes place. So next point after this we are going to learn, and that point is related to the new or next nutrients. And out of that one, before this carbohydrate also we have studied, oxidation of glucose also we have studied, oxidation of that carbohydrate, that means glucose, we have studied. Now one by one different nutrients we are going to learn. So next point in that, all nutrients, in short their information we are going to learn. So first nutrient is the carbohydrate. Carbohydrate. Suppose first nutrient is the carbohydrate. And in case of carbohydrate, already we have studied aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration, and what is the role of carbohydrate? Carbohydrates, these are the energy rich nutrients. They are giving maximum amount of energy to us. So we need these carbohydrates in large amount. So in case of carbohydrate we have studied, glucose is oxidized. After oxidation, ATP molecule is formed. That glucose is utilized for the different purposes, for different body processes. But what about excess carbohydrate? We are not eating how much needed. We are not eating how much needed. We are eating excess, and that excess carbohydrate which is taken inside the body and which is digested, what happens about that particular carbohydrate? So excess carbohydrate is stored into the liver and the muscles in the form of glycogen. Whatever excess carbohydrates are stored. Carbohydrate also you can say glucose. Excess carbohydrates or glucose is stored into liver and muscles. Liver and muscles in the form of glycogen, in the form of glycogen. Excess carbohydrates are stored into the liver and muscles in the form of glycogen. So whatever after the ATP formation, excess whatever carbohydrates are remaining, these are stored into the in the liver and muscles in the form of carbohydrate, in the form of glycogen. So next nutrient is there. Second one is their proteins. Second one is the proteins. So what about proteins, and what is the definition of proteins, and how these proteins are made up of? So that information we are learn. In case of the proteins, important thing is the proteins are the macromolecules, and these are formed by bonding of different amino acids together. So what are the proteins? Proteins are the macromolecule, larger molecules, and which are formed by the bonding of different amino acids together. Okay, and many amino acids joined together, they are forming proteins. That means proteins are the building blocks of the body, and which are formed from the amino acids. So next thing is there. Second point is there. Proteins of the animal origin. Proteins of the animal origin are called as a first class proteins. Proteins of animal origin are called as a first class proteins. After this, third point is there. We are getting 4 kilocalories of energy from 1 gram of protein. How much energy we are getting from the proteins? 1 gram of the protein, we are getting 4 kilocalorie energy per gram of the protein, per gram of the proteins. After that, next thing is the when proteins are digested, that proteins are converted into amino acid. The proteins are converted into amino acids. After that, fifth point is there. When these amino acids, after digestion of proteins, amino acids are formed, that amino acids are absorbed into the blood. That amino acids are absorbed into the blood, and that amino acids are supplied to the each and every cells and tissues, different organs, cells and tissues, with the help of blood. So blood is doing the work of transportation. Which transportation? Digested food, oxygen transportation is done by the blood. After that, sixth point is there. These amino acids, whatever these absorbed amino acids are there, these amino acids are reaching to the organs and cells, and that organs and cells are producing required proteins. So whatever amino acids are provided to the cells and tissues, that amino acids are again bonded together inside the cell, and required proteins are produced. And which are necessary for the body. So protein synthesis we have studied before this in the first lesson. In that first thing, transcription, translation, and translocation, that processes we have studied. So for that we have seen that tRNA, transport RNA, from where it is bringing the amino acids to the rRNA. These digested proteins are converted into amino acids, and that amino acids are collected by tRNA, and these are carried to the rRNA, and then protein synthesis takes place inside the body. And after that, next thing is the different cells, different body parts, and in that which proteins are present, that one we have to see. So in the skin, melanin is there, keratin is there. In case of the bones, ossin is there, protein is there, ossin. In case of the cell membrane, also proteins are there. Okay, cell proteins of cell membrane and enzymes. So cell membrane, in that also proteins are there. Next thing is the pancreas. In the pancreas, insulin is there. Which protein is there? Insulin and trypsin. In the pancreas, two proteins are there, insulin and trypsin. After that, we have studied pituitary gland. In the pituitary gland, different hormones are there, and these hormones are made up from the amino acids. Again, next thing is the muscles. In the muscles, actin and myosin. These are the two proteins which are helping for the movement of that particular muscles. And last one is there in the blood. In the blood, hemoglobin is there, and antibodies are there. Hemoglobin and antibodies in that proteins are there. From amino acids, these proteins are produced. So points will take in case of proteins. What you can say? Proteins are the macromolecules and which are made up from different amino acids. When different amino acids are connected, bonded together. So proteins are macromolecules. Proteins are the macromolecules. Macromolecules formed by chemical bonding. Between many amino acids. So you can say proteins are the macromolecules of amino acid, larger molecule of amino acids. Many amino acids are joined together and proteins are formed. Next thing is there. Second point is there. Proteins of animal origin are called first class proteins. So you have to remember, proteins of animal origin are called as first class proteins. And third point is there, we are getting how much energy. Next point is there, we get 4 kilocalorie of energy from 1 gram of protein. Fourth point is there. In case of the fourth point, so after the proteins are digested, when proteins are digested, after digestion, these are converted into amino acids. After digestion, proteins are converted into amino acids. Proteins are converted into amino acids. Fifth point is there. Proteins are converted into amino acids. So fifth one is that these amino acids are absorbed into the blood and supplied to the cells and tissues. These amino acids are absorbed in the blood and are transported to cells and tissues. That means to different organs, body parts. So these proteins from these amino acids, organs and cells produce required proteins. From these amino acids, cells and organs produce required proteins. Okay, from these amino acids, cells and organs, these are joining different amino acids together, and they are forming macromolecule, larger molecule proteins, and that proteins are necessary for all the life process of the body or different body functions. So these points are essential. Proteins are, what you can say, proteins are the macromolecules of amino acid or macromolecules formed by chemical bonding between many amino acids. Proteins of animal origin are called as first class proteins. We get 4 kilocalorie of energy from 1 gram of protein. After digestion, when proteins are digested, they are converted into amino acids. and that amino acid, these amino acids are absorbed into the blood, and from that blood these are transported to the cells and tissues, and these cells and tissues, cells and organs, they are joining, they are combining the different amino acids, and they are forming required proteins. So after this, next point we are going to learn in different cells, in different body parts, which proteins are present. Diagrammatically we are going to learn after this. After this, next point is that different cells and proteins present in that particular cells or that body part. So firstly, at the center there will be amino acids. Suppose you will go the first, you will see into the skin. Suppose you will see into the skin. In skin, two types of proteins are there: melanin and keratin. Melanin and keratin. These two proteins are present in the skin. Next one is there. Suppose next one is, if you will take bones, in the bone also protein is there, and name of that protein is there. Bones, in that bones protein is there. OAACIN, osine. Which protein is there in the bones? Osine. After that, in the cell membrane, so in the, what you can say, plasma membrane or a cell membrane, cells of the protein, proteins, or you can say plasma membrane or cell membrane. In that proteins are there, cell membrane and enzymes. In the plasma membrane or cell membrane and enzymes, in that also proteins are there, and these proteins are made up of amino acids. Next point is there. So in case of next point, pancreas is there. In pancreas, which proteins are present? So pancreas, in the pancreas, insulin, which controls blood sugar level, and trypsin, insulin and trypsin is there, and trypsin, insulin and trypsin, these two proteins are present, and these are formed from amino acids. Next point is the pituitary gland. Also you can say master gland, pituitary gland, and in the pituitary gland different hormones are there, and they contain proteins. Different hormones, in that proteins are there. Next part is the muscles. In the muscles, which proteins are there? So in the muscles, actin and myosin, these two proteins are there, and these actin and myosins are necessary for the contraction and relaxation of muscles, and last one is there, blood. Last one is there in the blood. So in the blood, two proteins are there, and that one is there, hemoglobin and antibodies. Hemoglobin and antibodies, these are present. So from amino acid, different kinds of proteins are produced, and which different kinds of proteins are necessary for the body functions or life processes. So first thing we have studied about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are stored into the liver, and these are stored in the form of the glycogen. Liver and muscle in the form of glycogen. After that, proteins we have studied, where these proteins are necessary, in which organs or in which cells these proteins which proteins are present. After this next point we are going to learn, and that next point is there always remember. So in that always remember 2-3 points are there, and that points we are going to learn. Always remember. So next point is there, and that point is related with plant proteins. Right. Always remember it there. So in that always remember. So as like a carbohydrate, some proteins are also extra, some amino acids are also extra, and question is there, or that particular first point is there, excess amino acids, these are not stored into the body. Excess amino acids are not stored into the body, but these are broken into ammonia, and these are removed, these are eliminated, these are excreted out of the body. These excess amino acids, these are not stored into the body, but these excess amino acids are broken into the ammonia, and that these are eliminated. Ammonia is eliminated out of the body as a waste. Second thing is the excess proteins. So whatever excess proteins are there, that excess proteins are converted into glucose, and that process is there gluconeogenesis. And in the plant, one of the mineral is there, and that mineral is there de novo, and that mineral is producing an amino acids and proteins. Which mineral is there? De novo. And last point is there Rubisco is the one of the enzyme in the chloroplast, and it is mostly abundant protein found in the nature, Rubisco. So 4 points in this, always remember. In that first thing is there amino acids are not stored in the body, but broken into ammonia, and eliminated or removed out of body. So amino acids are not stored into the body, these are converted into ammonia, and these are thrown out of the body, these are eliminated out of the body. And excess proteins, that excess proteins, these are converted into useful substance, are converted into glucose, and by the process, and name of that process is there gluconeogenesis. Conversion of proteins into glucose, that process is called as a gluconeogenesis. Now another thing is there in the plants, de novo, which de novo mineral is there, helps to form amino acids and proteins. So in the plant, which mineral is there? De novo, and it helps for the formation of amino acids and proteins in the plants. And fourth point is there Rubisco, Rubisco. Rubisco is enzyme. And it is present in the chloroplast. Enzyme in chloroplast, and it is most abundantly found protein. It is most abundantly found protein in nature. most abundantly found protein in the nature. So these points are important. So first point is there, amino acids are not stored into the body, they are converted into ammonia and these are given out of the body or eliminated out of the body. Second thing is there, proteins, excess proteins are converted into glucose and that process is called as gluconeogenesis. Next point is there, DNO is the mineral and it is present in the plants and that DNO helps for the formation of amino acids and proteins. Fourth point is the rubisco is the enzyme and it is present in the chloroplast and it is most abundantly found protein in the nature. So after this, next point is there, can you recall? That means whatever point you have learned before this, can you recall that one? Can you remember that one? So in that, can you recall? And that questions are related with vitamins. That questions are related with vitamins. Can you recall? Can you recall? So what you have to recall? Question number first is there. So it is related with our daily things. In that first one is there, from where we obtain the lipids. We are knowing lipids, fatty substances, oily substances, from where we obtain the lipid. Question is there, from where we obtain lipids, or from where we get lipids. In that the answer is there, you are eating many oily foods, oil, ghee, oil seeds, fats are there. So all these are the sources of lipids. Oils are there, ghee is there, oil seeds are there, fats, these are the sources of lipids. So next thing we are going to learn about lipids. What is the function? Oil is there, ghee is there, answer is there, oil, ghee, oil seeds. From this we are getting the lipids. So after this, next point we have to learn about lipids. So first nutrient we have studied carbohydrates, second nutrient we have studied protein, and third one is there now, lipids. So what are the lipids? What are the lipids? So important thing is there, one by one points we'll see first and then we'll write. So lipids are the substances and these are formed by the chemical bond, specific chemical bond between alcohol and fatty acid. Lipids are the chemical substances which are formed between specific chemical bond between fatty acids and alcohols. Fatty acids and alcohols. Second thing is that when lipids are digested, they are converted to fatty acid and alcohol because they are formed from fatty acid and alcohol, so they will get converted into same substances. So lipids are converted to fatty acids and alcohols after digestion. Next thing is that fatty acids, these are absorbed and these are supplied to the cells and tissues. The fatty acids which are lipids digested, these fatty acids are absorbed into the blood and they are supplied to the cells and tissues, and these fatty acids are used for different purposes. So in other purposes we'll see for what these fatty acids are used. First thing is the phospholipids. Phospholipid is used for the formation of the plasma membrane. It is used for the formation of plasma membrane. Next thing is the different what you can say hormones are there. Different hormones are there, and that hormones like the testosterone, aldosterone, estrogen, progesterone. So estrogen, progesterone, aldosterone, then estrogen. So these are used. Testosterone is there, estrogen, testosterone, aldosterone. These are the hormones and these are produced. For the production of these hormones, lipids are used. Another third thing is the covering of the axons. Covering on the axons on that particular nerve cell, neurons. These are also formed from the lipids. And the last thing is there, we are getting 9 kilocalorie of energy per gram of lipid. So abundantly we are getting energy from the lipids, 9 kilocalorie. From carbohydrate 4 kilocalorie, from what you can say proteins 4 kilocalorie, and from lipids we are getting maximum amount of energy, and that one is the 9 kilocalorie per gram. And excess lipids, these are stored into adipose connective tissue. Excess lipids are stored into the adipose connective tissue. So first point is there, and it is related to the definition. So lipids are the substances formed by specific chemical bond between. Lipids are the substances formed by specific chemical bond. Specific chemical bond between fatty acids and alcohol. Lipids are the substances formed by a specific chemical bond between fatty acids and alcohols. Okay. After this, second point is that after digestion, lipids are converted into fatty acids and alcohol. Third thing is there, these fatty acids are absorbed, and these are absorbed into the blood and supplied to the cells and tissues. Fatty acids are absorbed into blood and supplied to cells and tissues. And fourth point is there. In case of fourth point, so these fatty acids, these are used for different purposes. Different useful substances are produced. So uses of fatty acids. So what are the uses? First use is there. So fatty acids are, or in that phospholipid is used for the formation of plasma membrane. Phospholipid. For what purpose it is used? For plasma membrane. Second thing is there. In case of second thing, so hormones, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, aldosterone. Lipids are used for the formation of hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and aldosterone. Which hormones are produced? Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, aldosterone. So male and female reproductive hormones are there, and these are produced from the lipids. C point is there. So lipids are used for the formation of the coverings on the axons. Lipids form covering on axons of nerve cell. Axons we have studied in that particular sensory, what you can say, nervous system, in case of the nervous system. And last one is there, we get 9 kilocalorie of the energy from 1 gram of lipid. And what you can say, suppose your 4 points are there, and fifth point would write here, we get 4 kilocalorie of energy from 1 gram of lipid, or what you can say, 1 gram of the lipids, and excess lipids are stored into the adipose connective tissue. And last point is there, excess lipids are stored into adipose connective tissues. So these points are related to the lipids. Which points are there? First definition is there, lipids are the substances formed by specific chemical bond between fatty acids and alcohols. So after digestion, lipids are converted into fatty acids and alcohol into same. Then next, third one is that fatty acids are absorbed into the blood and supplied to the cells and tissues. Uses of fatty acids, fourth point in that, phospholipid, plasma membrane formation, cell membrane formation. Lipids are used for formation of hormones. Which hormones? Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and aldosterone. These are the female and male reproductive hormones are there. And lipids, in that, lipids are used, or they are forming, covering around axons of the nerve cell. And last one is there, we get 4 kilocalorie of the energy per gram of the lipid. And last one, excess lipids are stored into the adipose connective tissue. After this, next point we have to study, and that one is there, vitamins. That one is there, vitamins. Lipids over. So next point, lipids. Sorry, lipids over. So we have to learn vitamins. About vitamins, before vitamins, some information we'll learn. One, two questions are there. First question is there, sometimes inflammation is happening in our mouth, or ulceration also happens into the mouth. So inflammation or ulceration, when you are eating the spicy food, at that time you cannot eat that particular food due to the ulceration or inflammation. So for that, which vitamin is necessary or responsible? So inflammation or ulceration into the mouth, ulcer in the mouth, for that vitamin B complex is necessary. When you are having a ulcer in the mouth, or that particular inflammation while eating the spicy food, at that time you should take vitamin B complex tablet. Second question is there, which vitamin is responsible for the eyesight or for the vision? So that vitamin is there, vitamin A. It is responsible for the clear eyesight. Vitamin A is responsible for eyesight, and if it is absent, then it is causing night blindness. So after this, we are going to learn about vitamins, and in that vitamin, which are the types of vitamin, and in their subtypes are there. That one we are going to learn. First type is there. First point is there. What you can say? You can tell definition also. Vitamins are the heterogeneous compounds, and these are necessary for the proper functioning of the body. So vitamins are the heterogeneous chemical compounds necessary for proper functioning of the body, functioning or working of the body, proper functioning or working of the body. If these vitamins are absent, then our body is suffering from many diseases. After this, next thing we are going to learn that only there are types. So there are 6 types of vitamins. 6 types, main 6 types are there, and these are A, B, C, D, E and K. A, B, C, D, E, K. There are 6 types of the vitamins, and these are A, B, C, D, E, K. Out of this one, some are what you can say fat soluble. We can take fat soluble vitamins. Fat soluble are there, and these are A, D, E, K. A, D, E, K. These are fat soluble. And the fourth one is there water soluble, and these are B and C. Vitamin B and C, these are water soluble vitamins. Fat soluble are there, and some are water soluble vitamins. So we have seen vitamins are necessary for the different body functions, and to occur the all body functions properly in a proper sequence, in a what you can say, if all the life process to carry out in a proper sequence or in a well sequence, proper function of the body, vitamins are necessary. After that, 6 types of vitamins are there: A, B, C, D, E, K. Out of that one, fat soluble, A, D, E, K, these are fat soluble, and B and C, these are water soluble. So after this, next thing is there, and that one is there related to the NADH2 and FADH2. That one is related to the NADH2 and FADH2. So in that next point in this vitamin only, so FADH2, and another one is there NADH2. So vitamin B2, vitamin B2, also called as a riboflavin, is necessary for the formation of FADH2. Vitamin B2 or riboflavin is necessary for the formation of FADH2, and vitamin B5, it is necessary for the formation of nicotinamide. So nicotinamide, NADH2. So riboflavin, B2 and nicotinamide, B5, these are necessary. Riboflavin is necessary for FADH2, and nicotinamide is necessary for NADH2. And FADH2 and NADH2, these are the enzymes we have studied, and these are necessary for the ATP formation. After this, next thing we are going to learn, and that one next thing is there after vitamin, one of the mineral we are going to study, one of the essential nutrient, and that one is their water. Essential nutrient is there, and that one is their water. So related to the water, some questions are there, and in that questions are related to use your brain power. These questions are related to the use your brain power, in that these are related to our daily life. So first question is there, sometimes we are feeling dryness in the mouth. Why we are feeling dryness into the mouth? Dryness we are feeling into the mouth. Dryness. So what is the reason for dryness in the mouth? In the mouth. So specifically into summer situation, summer season we are feeling this one. So what happens inside our body? More amount of water is there, and if water level decreases due to the sweating, suppose that water level decreases due to the loose motion, sweating, and because of that we are feeling dryness into the mouth. So for that reason is the loss of water due to the sweating or loose motion. Second question is there, during the loose motion ORS solution is supplied to the patient. So what is the reason for that? So in the loose motion ORS solution, that means oral rehydration solution, is supplied to the patient. And in that, what is there into the oral rehydration solution? Lemon juice is there, salt is there, sugar is there. So salt, sugar and water, you can say. Which solution is there? Salt is there, sugar is there, and water. So salt, sugar, water, they are forming oral rehydration solution, loose motion. So to increase the water level into the patient's body, oral rehydration solution is given, ORS solution is given. And the third question is there related to the we sweat in summer heavily during the in summer and heavy exercise. So why we are sweating heavily? So body temperature increases due to the summer, and as well as during the heavy exercise body temperature increases, and to cool the body sweating takes place, and when sweat will get evaporated body is cool, evaporation takes place there. So next point is related to the water only, and that in detail we are going to learn. So first thing is there, how much percent water is there inside the body, and why water is called as an essential nutrient. So first point is the water is essential nutrient. Why it is called an essential nutrient? And it will be asked for give reason. If one statement is given and answer is downside now. Second thing is there, so inside the body 65 to 70% water is present inside the body. How much water is there? 65 to 70% water is present in the body. Second thing is that near about 70% water is there in the cell. Next thing is there, third thing is there, 70% water is in the cell. Fourth thing is there, near about 90% water is there in the blood plasma. 90% water is in blood plasma. And the next thing is there, so this much percent water is present inside the body, this much huge amount of water is present inside the body, and if loss of water takes place from the body, then due to the dehydration or due to the loose motion, if loss of water takes place, it affects on all the functions of the body as well as cell, all the functions of cell as well as all the functions of the body. And so water is essential nutrient. If loss of water takes place, it affects on the functioning of cells and on the body. Cells on the body. So water is essential nutrient. So after this, next point is there, and that next point is their fibers. Next point is their fibers. Fibers. So in case of the fibers, so usually we cannot digest the fibers. These are the, what you can say, cellulose molecules are there. Usually fibers we cannot digest, and fibers help to digest the other food materials, and also it helps to remove the waste out of the body. It is helping to digest the other food materials, and it is also helping to remove that waste material out of the body. And third point is their sources of fiber. In that leafy vegetables are there, then cereals are there, bran of the cereal is there, again fruits are there, vegetables are there. So from these materials we are getting fibers. So foods, in that what you have, leafy vegetable is there, fruits, you should eat fruits along with skin, cereals of the branch of the cereal. It is also, that means you should not sip that particular flour of that particular wheat, rice, wheat, bajra, jawar. So in that bran is there, it is containing fibers. Fiber is not useful to us, it is not getting digested, but it is helpful for digestion of other substances, and it is helpful for removal of the waste. If fibers are not present inside in the diet, then constipation of that particular constipation of waste takes place. That means waste materials will not be removed out of the body. So points about fibers. So fibers cannot be digested. Second thing is that fibers help to digest other food materials, and also help to remove undigested wastes out of body. Third one is there, in case of the fibers. So sources of fibers. Sources of fibers, and in that sources are the leafy vegetables. Next one is the fruits and cereals. These are the sources of fibers. So fibers also are important for in our diet. Even these are not getting digested. So after that, next point is there, and in that next point, internet, my friend.